Okay, so what we have is Cloudrun continuous deployment setup that we want to do. Before that, if you have any, uh, if you have if you have not attended any of the previous talks, so we have been doing this serverless thing now for quite some time, and I did introduction to serverless, introduction to Cloudrun, then Cloudrun on Anthos, Cloudrun. GitHub Actions, Cloudrun using GitHub Actions. And now what we are doing is we are extending that particular scenario of Cloudrun and serverless to how to, have continuous deployment integrated with your Cloudrun. So before that, just a quick primer for that. So Cloudrun is a serverless offering by Google, and it helps you in deploying your stateless containerized workloads on to Google Cloud as a serverless offering on Cloudrun. And what Cloudrun uses for continuous deployment is Cloud Build. So Cloud Build is a tool which integrates with the various SCM systems, source code management systems, which are GitHub, Bitbucket, and internal also. I think there's one Google's own source code system which just acts like GitHub. And by default, then all the traffic, you can see by default all the traffic goes 100% to the new app version that is deployed, but that can be customized. You can have 25% traffic, then you can roll out different set of traffic with different revisions. So that's how it is. Now in a real world scenario, what happens is, suppose a new developer is there, and they are asked to uh, try to explore the serverless offering. So in order for them to explore the serverless offerings, there are few things that has to be kept in mind. So first will be exploring the serverless options. So now they have to first know, like, whether this is a containerized application, this is not a containerized application, what are the different solutions, and how it is going. So take example of a person A. So a person A, or take my example itself. Suppose I am given some task. So how would I approach that? So what I'll do is I'll go to GCP and look out for serverless offerings. So now I see, okay, there's App Engine, there is Google Cloud Functions, there's Google Cloud Run. Now how to run it? Now which one suits better? Then I'll see, okay, if I have code that has to be in specific language, I might go for Cloud Functions. I'm writing a specific function. If I have only containerized workload, and I have, like, it's a HTTP based workload and stateless containerized workload, then I'll pick Cloud Run for that. And after picking that particular service, we also have to consider about the security aspects. So Cloud Run is the only offering that lets you deploy even on your on premise using the Cloud Run for Anthos. So it's really helpful because you can have your own infrastructure where you can have Cloud Run running. Why? Because it is based on the open source framework called Knative. So Knative for Kubernetes is a serverless thing, which we'll be deep diving into some point later. So like this, you have Cloudrun, fully managed, and then Cloudrun for Anthos. So there might be some organizations which say, okay, we only certify you to use GKE, or maybe our infrastructure, which is done using Anthos, and it is listed over there. So what you can do is you can use Cloudrun for Anthos if you still have to run the serverless offering by Google. So with this, then it comes that then there's a challenge like, okay, I want all my developers from specific branches to test out the code independently on Cloudrun. For this particular thing, CI/CD is very effective. Now, continuous integration and continuous deployment plays a very important role in the DevOps lifecycle, basically. So when you say, like, there are, let's say, okay, the presentation looks a bit, it's on the one screen. So what we'll do is, so suppose there is this person, and he or she or they deploy to source code management, say Git. Your overall project is in Git. Now there's a developer B who also wants to commit to the same repository. So what happens is, on each commit, then they might create a pull request, and things might get merged into the master branch. So what you can have is, you can have a master branch trigger. So as soon as the final code changes or a small revision, which I would say is pushed into the master branch, then it should trigger a new deployment that should deploy that particular code in Cloudrun for instant testing. So what happens is you can have a few checks, and in that if those few checks pass, then what will happen is as soon as the code is pushed in the master branch, or you can have triggers on specific branches as well. So I'm taking about a very raw kind of scenario where you just have a push to master branch. So whether via pull request or something like that, you can have different triggers as well. So you'll be having a push to the master branch, and then what will happen is this the master branch. As soon as the code is here, then it should trigger a deployment, and that deployment should deploy the code to Google Cloud Run. So this is the particular scenario that we are going to demonstrate today in our demo. So in Cloud Build, what Cloud Build does is, Cloud Build is a tool that integrates with Git Bitbucket, as I told you. And after that, it can also help you build image. It will also help you to push that image into GCR and then deploy to Cloud Run. So these are the 4 steps that we will be seeing how we can use that, and like that will be in action. So this is a sample Cloud Build file. So I will show you that as well in the GitHub repository. So what happens is we have some steps that helps you in triggering the Cloud Run. So Cloud Build, sorry. So for this, we are using first step is a Cloud Builder Docker, and the arguments that we are passing is like build the Docker image named demo with the commit SHA. Then what we are doing is we are pushing the image to the specific project ID. So while pushing the image, it should be like gcr.io/project ID the image name. That's how we are pushing. So these both steps can be combined, but it's better to segregate them so that we can know the exact issue while the issue was building the image, or the issue was during the deployment of the image. After that, what we have is we have the gcloud Cloud Run deployment stuff, which is over here. Now this will deploy. So what it does is Cloud Run, Cloud Run deploy, Cloud Run, then the image. Image will be whatever we have given above, GCRIO project ID, then the image name, and we'll give the region. We'll also give if it's what do you say, managed, and we'll also give allow unauthorized, so that those parameters are also taken care. Now what let's switch back to my laptop screen, and we'll quickly dive into the demo. I hope the screen is visible. Let me just verify that. Yes, so the screen is visible. Now what we'll do is we'll go back to GitHub. Everything will be done from scratch, so probably you'll have a good hold on whatever we are doing, and you should be good to go back and try this out. So first of all, we'll go to Cloud Build. Sorry, Cloud Build. So let's go to Cloud Build. I'm not sure if okay, it's coming. So let's go to Cloud Build and let's enable the API. So before using any of the service of GCP, you have to enable the API. And after enabling the API, we're free to use. Meanwhile, I'll have some water. Okay, so we are so this is how the Cloud Build UI looks like. So right now nothing is connected. So what we'll do is we'll try to connect our GitHub repository and set up two different scenarios. One will be only using the Docker file. One will be the manual continuous, the manual deployment every time the push happens, and another one will be the uh, like automated continuous deployment and deploying a new revision in the Cloudrun. So let's create a repository. So as you can see, you have few options. One is GitHub, which is very clear already. Then Bitbucket, then Google Cloud. These repositories are already connected. So Google Cloud source repositories, you can create them. Then GitHub mirrored repository, if you have, this is also in beta. So we'll use a standard GitHub repository. Let's continue that. So it'll ask us to authenticate. So like I told you, it's very fresh setup. Even all these passwords and authentication is there. Let me just put my two-factor authentication, which is so we have verified to use Cloud Build, and it should be authenticated now. So it is redirected back to the screen with all my repositories. Now let's select Cloudrun demos, which we have been using for quite some time from our previous sessions as well, and connect to the repository. So after connecting to the repository, so the default push trigger is push to any branch and whatever it is. So we'll just create push to create the push trigger. So it will create the trigger. Now let's click on that and let's modify some of the options. So what we can do is there are multiple things you can have different branches, and you can match to master branch. You can push to a new tag. You can have it pull request whenever a pull request is there on a specific branch. Then also you can use this particular trigger. Now what happens is this event. What we'll do is we will create a Docker. We'll create a Cloud Build. So what happens is our repository is connected to Cloud Build. Now, as soon as I give the Docker file location from in that particular repository, it will try to create an image with this particular image. Let's give simply the let's not give so many things out there. Let's only give Cloudrun demo. I think that is enough. And yeah, so it will build this particular image and tag it with our gcr.io project ID, then Cloudrun demos and short sha, and let's save it. So you can run the trigger from here as well, or this trigger is already set up. Once we push the change in the GitHub repository, then also this trigger should run. So we'll try both the approaches. So first is run trigger. So now as soon as you run trigger, you will have a small pop-up at the bottom of the screen. It is here. So let's show this. So it is building it. I don't know whether it was able to find the, yeah, it was able to find the Docker image. So it has completed all the steps inside the Docker image that were there in the repository. And after that, it's trying to push. It has pushed. So you can see it has successfully pushed the cloud builder, the image which we have specified, the gcr.io name, then Cloudrun demos. Now so how this helps is, one way is we can, so the first one was the manual continuous deployment. So let's do the Cloudrun. Let's go to Cloudrun. So we already have the image now, and let's create the service. Now Cloudrun API we didn't enable, because as soon as we click on create service, it automatically starts enabling the service if it is not enabled. This particular time, yes, we have to bake. Yes, we can. In the meanwhile, we'll name it manual CD. And we'll do next. And if we select the image, you should be able to see our post image. It was there. So GCR project ID, then the SHA, small SHA was there, and with the Cloudrun demos, we can select that. We can click on create. and we should be having a URL shortly, an accessible endpoint that we can hit and access the application. So now real world scenarios can be like you can have a pub sub, then you can have it connected with cloud build, and whenever it is receiving something from the cloud build, it is then deploying to Cloudrun. Those also can be few of the scenarios. So now it is routing the 100% traffic. I'll also open cloud build in another tab so that we don't have to switch between it. Let's open it a new tab, because in any case we would be needing the cloud build as well. Okay, so I can see the traffic has been put to 100% and the URL is generated. Let's click on the URL and our application should be running. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yes, it is running, and let's run. Okay, I'll put my name today. So hello, Sayam is the output. That's what it is. Now what we'll do is let's change some of the code in the repository, because what we did is we have a trigger. So we'll go to GitHub Cloudrun demos. We'll use it. Let's do. Okay, let's change this file. And don't do that. I mean, you should follow the proper, building. Sorry, from your branch, then creating a pull request to the master branch, and then merging it. So instead of hello, let's say hey, and let's commit. Now, as soon as I commit, we should see the triggers getting started, and the default push trigger is already started. And in the cloud build section, if we go to the history, we should see some trigger happening over there. You can see it is already started, and we'll be soon having the image, the new image. And let's go back to Cloudrun. Let's deploy the new revision, and let's select just now. The image was there, and you can we can always select the CPUs. By the way, I think there was a 4 GB. Yes, Cloudrun now supports 4 GB memory as well, so you can have a big system of 4 GB as well for specific functions, which was recently introduced. So I think that is a very good improvement in Cloudrun. I mean, that now you will be seeing that your traffic will slowly remove, it will be 0% from here, and then 100% to the new service, and let it complete. Yeah, it's 100% there. Now what we'll do is we'll close. Okay, let's open this particular link. Let's again type Siam. So you can see how quickly I was able to change the code, and I was able to deploy a newer revision of the application, and from hello to hey. So like this, if you were fixing bugs or you are doing something, it can have your pipeline set up, have your new images, and then you can deploy the revisions. So this was the manual setup. Now what if you want even this to be automated, like as develop as developer, I don't want to even come to the console, the GCP console, and basically the Cloudrun console, and edit the revision, deploy the new application. Why should I do that? It should automatically take care. And yes, that is possible. So that's where the automated continuous deployment will come in picture. So how to do that? So in the repository, if you go, I have created one file called cloudbuild.yaml. So that cloudbuild.yaml have few steps, which I already explained you in the small note that I was sharing before. So the steps is like I have my build cloud build, then I am triggering the cloud build first, then pushing the image, and then creating the deployment. So these three steps are there. Before doing that, there is one change that we need to make in cloud build service. Now we want our cloud build to be able to deploy to Cloudrun. In order to do that, it creates a service account. Now that service account should have the permission to have permission to deploy to Cloudrun. So it will grant all the Cloudrun admin privileges to this service accounts plus additional service accounts. So the best approach is attaching policies to only that service account and not to all the service account. But for ease, right now we are doing this. Now let's create a new trigger and do is automated deploy. And let's select the same Cloudrun demo repository. And inside this, what we'll do is we'll select the cloud build YAML. So what we want is we want our build configuration to be the YAML file that we have defined in the repository. So now this is done. Now let's try to run this trigger and see if it throws out any errors. If it does, then we'll definitely try to fix that. And all the steps will be listed here. So we listed 3 steps in the Git repo, and those are the 3 steps. So one will be the build, then another will be the push, and another will be the creation of the deployment to Cloudrun. So right now I think the build is going on. So it is taking the build. The build is completed successfully. The build is completed successfully, or it is right now in the final stage. Let me just, yeah, it is successfully built. And okay, so we can see within 34 seconds, I was able to deploy this application to Cloudrun. So now if I go back to Cloudrun, the main Cloudrun service, I should be able to see Cloudrun demo. So that was the application. And if you are not sure, so this was the application. You can see this is what we defined in our Git repository, the Cloudrun demo. So Cloudrun demo, what it did, it deployed automatically to this, and it was deployed by the service account, which was there in the cloud build. So that was service account. Now let's check whether it is working. Awesome. So we have the application working. This time I can put community. Sorry, community. It should be hey, because that was the last change. One more interesting thing. Okay, yeah, one more interesting thing is there was one thing that I missed when I was showing the diagram. Sorry, the note. So it is beta run deploy Cloudrun demo. Then the image name. Then you have the platform. So we have to define these things as well, the platform, and allow unauthenticated, so that anybody can hit this particular service. Now let's again change something in our Python file and see what happens. So again, from here, we are going to howdy. Let's put one exclamation mark as well. Let's commit the changes, and we'll see there will be, as soon as you do it, there will be 2 changes. One will be the default push trigger that we did, and another one will be the automated deploy trigger. So the previous one will just build and push the new image to GCR repository, our own project repository, and this one should deploy to Cloudrun, a new revision. Let's go back. And let's see what is happening in build history. There should be two things running over there. One thing is already completed. Another one is automatically deployed to Cloudrun is still running. I think it should be on the final step. So it is deployed with 100% traffic. Let's go to the Cloudrun service and see that Cloudrun demo. I'm in Cloudrun demo. Yes. So Cloudrun demo. And let's click the application. And let's say howdy. Now, without interfering, without even touching the Cloudrun service or without even updating the revision myself, I was able to deploy the new version of the application instantly with the merging to the master, push to the master branch basically. So as soon as it happened, my cloud build got triggered, then the push is happening, and after that, the deployment is happening to Cloudrun, and you can see the revisions. And it has two revisions. One was the first one, and this is the new one that just happened. And each time you'll be having a new revision for this particular application. You can also use your standard, G-Cloud commands with this particular window where you have defined the cloud build YAML. So in the cloud build YAML, you can give the the traffic to be the standard G-Cloud command. So in the deployment, you can give the traffic to be 0%, 25% as and when you are deploying. So all those things can be done here itself. So I think that's pretty cool thing to do in Cloudrun. Like you can have your automated continuous deployment set up, and as soon as a developer commits the code to GitHub or any other source code, but whichever is supported by Cloudrun, so you can have those process in line, and you will be having a new deployment instantly. I mean, just in a matter of seconds that we have seen on Cloudrun with a new revision with 100% traffic, which can be altered with the command that you can specify. And you can always see the logs that are happening. You can see the metrics, which is there, like how it is tightly integrated with Stack driver, and you can see the data. And what else we can do? Maybe next time I can show you, or I don't think it's that much required, but yes, it's also a good feature. Like if you say a test service and just click next. Sorry, just click next. In the advanced settings, we have connections. So in the connections, you can have your Cloud SQL connected. So you have a VPC connector. So all those things. Okay, let's try to cover that sometime later. So we can have a serverless VPC connector, and we can have it connected to a Cloud SQL instance as well. So your cloud service can be, fetching the data and pushing it to Cloud SQL as well. So that was it about today's demo, setting up a continuous deployment pipeline using Cloudrun and integrating it with your GitHub repository. So as soon as you make any change, so it will be built, your image will be built, pushed to a specific project, and then deployed to Cloudrun as a new revision. So I hope you enjoyed the demo, and go feel free to try that out, and let me know if you face any issues. The repo is always up to date with all the demos that I do for serverless. If you want to do all the demos, just create your demos, create a pull request to this with your separate name folder, and we can have, like the community kind of repo where everybody is trying different scenarios using Cloudrun. And let me know your thoughts on how this is going and how you are liking it. And